Welcome to Primordial Flows, where we tend to our primordial flows. Hello, those of you tuning in. As I connect with the energies here to tend to our primordial flows, I invite you to either consent or not to engaging or connecting energies to be able to receive this message more fully. I'm seeing like these lasers, almost like when you see like security features with lasers and like movies where there's like red lasers beaming all over, kind of like a web, only it's this image that's coming to my mind's eye, and these beams and points of connection feel like more like points of connection than a defense strategy. Or maybe it is defense strategy and connections. But anyways, that's kind of what I'm seeing. I'm seeing one point exploding, impacting all the other points. So maybe there's one area of your life right now that's maybe feels like it's exploding and feels like it's impacting everything else around you. It's a strong visual of like a lot of intensity and heat and destruction. I'm hearing that it's making way for something new. Maybe you feel a sense of exhaustion. Maybe you've been rebuilding something new over and over and over again, and each time it gets you closer to your core and it brings you to the next place. I want to offer a different perspective from like feeling that exhaustion of having to start over and over again, which is valid. And I want to offer a larger perspective that maybe that's a part of attuning with nature and nature's cycles of birth, death, and birth. And also maybe we're alive in a time where a lot of cycles are coming to an end. And so if our lives are filled with a lot of endings and new beginnings and starting over, maybe it's us feeling larger, like planetary cycles or something. Larger energetic cycles. before this reading, I was feeling really tired and heavy, and I was meditating and clearing my energy, and I started to connect. I was able to feel into my essence more. I'm still feeling a tiredness and a slowness and a gentleness. Almost like I've been moving boulders or moving mountains or something. Kind of getting the message to know what is yours to tend to, because I think things can tend to feel a lot heavier. Sometimes that when things feel a lot heavier, that can be an indication that it's not ours to carry, or that we need support in carrying it. Or it could mean something else, but I was getting the message around not carrying others' burdens for them, how that's not helpful for you or for them. As I say that, I feel kind of like a relief in my arms. I also felt like a sense of like a frothy feeling in my mouth, or like foamy, like ocean foam or something, like where on the shoreline, the foam that kind of sits on the shore. That's what I was feeling as I said that. All like frothed up from being swirled around. There keep being things like coming into my reading that feel like personal weights. Spirit, is this part of the collective message? Let's clear that. Okay. Okay, I'm seeing a cactus. So you might need to be really conserving your resources right now. And as that happens, attuning more and more to perhaps the subtleties, like the richness of existing and being, more so than maybe entertainment or distractions or consuming when we have to conserve our resources. We can attune to a different type of enrichment in life. We can attune to different values, different meaning. We could also feel like we're in survival mode, but the feeling I'm getting here is like more so like a slowing down and noticing I don't even know how to put this into words. It's more so than seeing like beauty and wonder in everything. But it's kind of that. But also not really objectifying it, but like being in relationship with it and staying curious without like filling up space with thoughts. It's like a sacred witnessing. A sacred witnessing, and in that witnessing, we're not trapped in the pain or the pleasure or whatever we're feeling. We're not identifying with it. We're witnessing it. And that ability to witness can really free us up. I feel like such a relief, and I feel like this is touching a part of my heart that these kinds of sentiments haven't really been able to reach. Or maybe I just really needed to feel into it and hear it right now. Just feeling the energy, noticing any dynamics that want to come to the surface. I'm seeing many different things kind of like in the field, but maybe it's not about what comes to the surface, but about diving underneath and diving deep down to the undercurrents where we reach the primordial flows. I'm feeling like a coldness and like an old petrified wood. I feel like there's an ancient energy in this petrified wood. There's a brightness. This brightness started to form as feelings of anger and aggression. And I noticed myself wanting to dissolve and like disappear to avoid this aggression. I think this aggression or this anger, they want to be seen. They're appearing as like a person wanting to fight or something. Yeah, it's this energy of wanting to fight for like an earth-based culture, a way of life. Feeling like they have there's so many reasons why I could see them being angry. So many things that make that way of living not accessible. And this anger feels like a bull, like getting ready to charge. If you're in a safe space, I invite you to feel this energy. This kind of fierceness. It feels like clarity. It feels like it offers clarity. And it offers heat to be able to digest all that's going on and still be able to rise. It feels powerful, but not in a dominating way, but like I stand for love. I fight for love through loving, by loving. That kind of ferocious love. And it's this heat that brings clarity to my vision. This is something we can tend to and grow. Even if you don't feel like that ferocious, or maybe you feel too ferocious. Or maybe you're afraid of feeling any of that. Or something else. I'm seeing into like an empty space, a space of unknown, where we don't always know what's coming, but when we connect with the source in our hearts, we know what we are generating, and we can learn to trust that. When we connect with that source and we allow it to flow through us and show us through the phenomena of each moment, a feeling of liberation. So I invite us all to root down into the earth, feel our anchors dropping deep down into the earth to support us to reach high and witness, expanding our perception more and more. Expanding our capacity to understand and at the core of it all, at the core of our essence, be able to be able to find completion in each moment. Sometimes that's easier to do when we like what we're doing in each moment. And it can be more challenging to find that completion when maybe we don't like what we're doing, if we're having to survive. How can we still find completion? How can our imagination stretch to include those parts of our lives? To engage with them in different ways. To see them in different ways. To expand our perception and how we see them, to find a sense of wholeness and completion in our perception. And with each expansion, finding more and more completion in each moment, acknowledging and recognizing what is arising, accepting what is arising, allowing it to flow, allowing it to ebb and flow. I don't know why, but I was asking Spirit if there's any more messages, and I heard the song in my mind playing, "You've gotta be cool to be kind in the right measure, cool to be kind. It's a na 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 na. Cool to be kind means that I love you, baby. You've gotta be cool to be kind." I don't even know if those are the real lyrics, but that's what I was hearing. And there's something about the demeanor of being cool to be kind that felt like boundaries or something. Maybe the coolness is having like the audacity to have boundaries, to stand up for what you believe in, even if it makes other people uncomfortable. So it's interesting because I think of kindness as something that's very warm. So there's like a sharpness with the cold temperature and an openness to the warm kindness. And so sometimes we need to make those boundaries in order to create space for the kindness to be safe, to be protected and appreciated and felt. Spirit, are there any more messages around this? I'm getting the feeling that that's the end for the messages today. So thank you for connecting and tuning in, and now is when we disconnect our energies, and until next time, all my love.